Let me introduce myself. This is Cham. I have around 13 years experience in IT. Out of 13 years, 7 years experience in training side. So I do the corporate trainings as well as public online trainings, and I have delivered the training for the multiple companies like Deloitte, PwC, and EY, and Virtuoso. And there is multiple MNCs have delivered online trainings as well as offline trainings. So before starting the demo, I will give the prerequisite to start learning this AEM. So I have divided this entire AEM course into two parts: AEM front end and AEM backend. AEM front end and AEM backend. In the AEM front end, you must have the basic knowledge in HTML and CSS. But JavaScript is optional, but at least you must have the basic knowledge in HTML and CSS. The AEM front-end means AEM feature implementation. For example, components, templates, client libraries. There is multiple features are available in AEM. It will be useful to build the web pages. So in order to start learning AEM front-end, you must have the basic knowledge in HTML and CSS. JavaScript is an add-on. If you have knowledge in JavaScript as well, that will be an add-on. So if you don't have any knowledge on HTML and CSS, just go to w3schools.com or any tutorials and start learning HTML and CSS. Just basic knowledge is enough. The reason for the basic knowledge, for every project, there will be a multiple teams. For example, UX and UI team is one team, or also called design team. They will provide the required HTML and CSS and JavaScript. So we don't need to write the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript from the scratch. The design team will provide the required HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And we'll be the part of AEM dev team. AEM dev team. And as part of the AEM dev team, so we have to implement AEM features like AEM components and dialog. There is multiple implementations are available. We'll implement these features. So at the time of implementing this component, we have to use this HTML and CSS. We have to use this HTML and CSS and JavaScript to build these components and client libraries. So that's why at least you must have the basic knowledge on HTML and CSS to understand existing HTML and CSS. So what are the HTML, CSS files are provided by UI and UX team? You should be able to understand HTML markup, to use that HTML markup, or to consume that HTML markup in your components. So that's why the basic knowledge on HTML and CSS is mandatory to start learning AEM front-end part. In the backend, you must have the core Java knowledge. Core Java is mandatory to write the backend logic. So without this core Java, you can't understand even backend implementation and you can't write any backend Java code. Core Java is mandatory to start working or to start learning AEM backend. Core Java is mandatory skill. So these are the prerequisites to start learning AEM. The initial 15 days or 15 hours will spend time on AEM front-end part, and remaining 15 hours will spend time on AEM backend. It will be 50-50. You must have the basic knowledge in HTML and CSS to understand the front end, and core Java is required to understand the backend. So these are the prerequisites. Let me know if you have any questions here. Okay. The next step, I will explain TOC in table of the content. So this is the Google Drive. I will share each and every one. Once you decided to join this training sessions and payment is completed, we'll share this entire drive. And this is the course content. And as part of the course content, we'll start with AEM introduction. As part of this introduction, I will cover what is CMS and why CMS, and what are the different advantages of the CMS, and who are the different competitors of AEM, and why do you prefer AEM as a CMS platform. So these concepts will talk about this AEM introduction. The next section is AEM installation. So I will show you how to install AEM 6.5 as well as AEM as cloud services. So these two are the two different versions. I will cover both AIM 6.5 and AIM as a cloud services, how to install author server and how to install publish server and how to connect author with publish server and how to deploy the sample project into the author and publish servers. I will cover as part of this installation. And third one is console. So there will be a different consoles are available in the AM server to create the content like sites console and assets console, page editor console. I will walk through this entire console as part of day 3. And day 4 onwards are very important. This is the local project setup. So I will show you how to create a Maven project from the scratch. It's very rare opportunity to create a Maven project from the scratch. Majority of the cases will work on the existing project. If the code base is already available, we'll pull that code base from the Git repository and deploy into our local servers. But sometimes we have to create a project from the scratch. So I will show you how to create a project from the scratch and how to deploy that project into AEM servers, both author server and publish server, and how the project will build and how to deploy that content packages and jar file from the local file system to AEM server. I will cover as part of day 4. And day 5 onwards, completely AEM core concepts, components and dialogues and design dialogues, editable templates and client leave and Sling request processing and HTL. These 6 concepts are very important. Without this concept, you can't implement any AEM front-end features. Like component implementation is the basic implementation for every project. And similarly, template implementation also basic feature for every project. You must have the knowledge on component implementations and dialog implementation and desired dialog implementation and edit config implementation and editable template implementation, client leave, Sling request processing, and HTL. So we'll discuss in detail later about these features one by one. Day 11 also important. As part of the day 11, I'll take 2 hours of session to implement these feature in real time. So how to use this AEM component in real time, how to convert one section of the HTML markup as a component, and how to reuse that component into a different places of the project. So entire real time scenarios I will cover as part of day 11. So if you go to day 11, you will find out the multiple videos, but I can't cover all the videos in the live training. So this is complete implementation, around 8 hours or 9 hours of videos are there. I can't cover entire implementation in the live training, but I will show you how to implement the headers and footers and reusable component, and how to implement from the scratch, and how to implement the backend code, and how to connect the backend code with the front-end code. I will show you the end-to-end implementation of the day 1 and day 2. But we have to go through. Once the training is completed, we have to go to the remaining videos. Day 3, day 4, you can't understand in day 11. Only you can understand day 1 and day 2 videos in day 11. But remaining videos you have to go through after the training. And experience fragment and content fragments are most commonly used features now in AEM for the reusable content. To create the reusable content, mostly we use. Yeah, I will cover the certification by end of the session. Okay. Experience fragment and content fragment are the 2 different features to create a reusable content. For example, if you go to any web page, in the web page there will be a common content. For example, header section and footer section. These 2 contents are common across all pages. So rather than creating each and every page, the same header and same footer, we can create that content at global location by using these features, and we can reuse the same content in multiple pages. So these 2 features also very important as per the front end. 14 onward, the backend will start. Backend will start from the 14 onwards. So OSJ is one of the Java framework. You must have the Java knowledge to understand day 14 onward. So this is not a day 14. So basically it will require 15 hours. So for example, HTL will take 2 hours, and this project setup will require 2 hours. So even the folders are 13, but it will take 15 hours of time to complete, or to complete day 13 until day 13. And 14th is OSGI. So from the 14th to 20 is completely backend concepts. Yeah, 22 until 22 the completely backend concepts. You must have the basic knowledge and core Java to understand these concepts. So as part of the backend, I will cover OSGI introduction and how to implement OSGI components and OSGI services. And these components and services are the reusable backend code. We can write once and reuse the same OSGI services in multiple places and run nodes on different OSGI configuration and Sling models, servlets, event handlers, and schedulers and core components and Sling and WCM APIs. All these concepts are the backend concepts only. 14 to 22, all are backend concepts. And these are not related to either front end or backend. So these are the advanced features of AEM. Workflow implementation is one of the advanced feature, and test cases are the mandatory feature for every project implementation. So if you are working on any AEM as a cloud services, so you have to write the test cases for each and every class in your backend Java classes. So I will take 2 hours of session to cover these test cases. I will show you how to write the test cases for the Sling model and OSGI services and event handlers and schedulers. And the last one is dispatcher setup. And this is also an advanced feature and it requires 2 hours of time. And if we go to the TOC, so these are the live training concepts. Total 31 hours of live training. 31 hours. And these are the recorded sessions I will provide. Capstone project 8 hours. This is second project. It would be available in the same drive. So this is also end-to-end implementation. How to implement a project from the scratch. How to convert the HTMLs into the different components and how to create the dynamic component and how to read the content by using API and how to render that content on page. End-to-end implementation is available as part of the Capstone project. And these are the some of the features which is not required for the regular development. Cloud Manager is not required for the regular development. And Groovy script also not required. Replication agents, link content distribution, RTE, and News Portal project, the second project. Two projects will be available in the drive. One is Capstone project and second one is News Portal project. But you have to go through these recorded sessions once the training is completed. Otherwise, you can't understand this implementation. So these components are completely dynamic component we have implemented by using the backend Java code. And some of the asset features also added in the recorded session. MSM and translation 2 hours. Even we are providing Java recorded sessions. If you don't have any knowledge, you can go through this recorded session. Around 30 hours of videos are available. You can go through these recorded sessions. So it is not possible to cover in the live training because it will take 30 to 35 hours to complete the core Java itself. And Query Builder and SQL2, Resource Merger and Sling Repo and tagging all are recorded sessions. Total around 61 hours of the recorded sessions are available. So this is my TOC, table of content. So when the training is completed, we'll find out the interview questions as well. And some of the farms videos also available under AEM farms and assets and caption projects and certification dumps also available. And these dumps are the latest dumps. ADO E134. I think 1 week back, one of my student attended and cleared this ADO E134. This is the recent one only. So you can just directly prepare this ADO E134 or 123 and you can attempt the certification exams. You will definitely clear because majority of the questions will get from here only. Around 80% or 90% of the questions will get from here only. And Cloud Manager, GraphQL, Groovy script, and Java videos. If you go inside the Java videos, around 30 videos are there. And these are the required Java concept for AEM implementation. bodybuilder, replication agents. Yeah, so these are the different videos. So it is not possible to cover all the concept in the live training because it required at around 70 to 80 hours, but this live training is only for 30 to 35 hours. So that depends on availability. The training duration will the timings will be same 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. IST. The timing will be the same every day 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. IST. And I will take the session Monday to Saturday. Monday to Saturday. If all team members are available, even I'm ready to take Sunday also, but it required acceptance from all the members. But Monday to Saturday is the mandatory session. Every day 1 hour, but on Saturday I will take 2 hours of the session because few of the concept require 2 hours. So that's why I will take 2 hours of the session on Saturday, Monday to Saturday. Weekly 7 hours. Weekly 7 hours. So we'll complete the training 5 to 6 weeks. If you don't have any breaks, it will be completed in 5 weeks. If there is any breaks, it will complete in 6 weeks. So one of my team member will reach out to you regarding this course fee. So this is the duration. And we'll get the lifetime recorded sessions and we'll keep on update the record sessions here. So for example, if there is any new certification dump, we'll place that dump into the certification dump folder. If there is any new concept is added, we'll place into the drive only. So these are the previous training recorded session. We'll keep on update the recorded session. For example, this session was updated on 2nd Feb 2024. Okay, so we'll keep on update to the latest recorded videos. We can watch live time. I didn't get you. Content validation means you can unmute and talk. Not an issue.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I mean to say, like, if I access to this course, right? So, like, this content will be available for lifetime, right?
Correct.
Okay, understood. And let's say after this course, like 6 week of training, right?
Yeah.
After that, if I want to attend the like professional certification, so it will be fine, right?
Yeah, it will be fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Any other questions?
And
Yeah,
one
hi,
more thing
Chamu.
I have to know. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, please.
I have a question, Chamu. Can I?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I just want to understand. This is a new tool from Adobe.
No, this is a very old tool from Adobe, from 2011 onwards almost. Adobe implementing this one.
How is the job opportunities for this tool? Like you think like attending a 6-week course and working for 3-5 months practicing, will we be able to land an opportunity?
Definitely no, because you can't crack the interview because you can't find out the freshers jobs and AEM side. But again, you have to take the help from the senior resources to crack the interviews. Because some of the real-time scenarios, like it will be a huge tool. It will be very useful. Like I mean, in the 6 weeks of the duration, you can't crack the interview, but at least you can understand. Yeah,
I understand. 6 weeks is for us to get comfortable with
yeah,
the tool and what the
exactly.
tool is doing. And as you said, like practice. Let's say I practice for like 5 months or 6 months down the line after the training. Okay, just start working on myself, couple of projects. And you think like after that, will that be?
You will definitely crack the interview. Even 3 to 4 months are enough. If you are focused one, if 3 to 4 months are enough to crack the interview.
So what will be your relationship like after the course? Like, will you support us after the course till we land up an opportunity, or how does it work?
In the course duration, you can ping me in the group chat if you are facing any issue. Either me or one of my team member will connect with you to resolve it. Once the training is completed, if you have any questions, ping me. I may not respond immediately, but I will definitely respond maybe after 1 or 2 hours at least.
Oh, thank you. So are you currently working in this tool like AEM?
So basically, I'm running my own company and we're doing my own projects as well. And we have the multiple domestic clients.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we work with the domestic clients on AEM and farms and assets implementations.
Okay. Thank you.
So Bhaskar Technologies is my company. We'll find out the more details about my company here, bhaskar.com. So this is one registered private limited company. So we do mainly on AEM and Adobe products.
I have a query.
Yeah, please get.
After having conducted this training, what is the minimum package we can receive?
That completely depends on you, on our skills. But on average, if you have 3 years experience, you can expect 12 to 15, up to 12 to 15 lakhs. And if you have 5 years, you can expect up to 24 lakhs. And if you have 7 or more than 7, and if you would like to play a lead role, you can expect more than 30 lakhs.
Okay, and can we have this development environment set up in our local so that we can
Yeah,
simulate?
in the local, yeah, you can set up the local. I will provide all the required software.
Okay. And apart from AEM, whenever we see any job posting related to the Adobe AEM, it also requires supporting knowledge of like analytics and the campaign and all those. So are all this
For
interconnected?
every project, there will be different teams for AEM and different teams from analytics and different team for target and campaign. So you may not need or knowledge on all the technologies, and you can learn AEM only initially. Once you are expert in AEM set, then you can learn analytics and target and campaign. These would be an add-on to you.
Okay, for analytics and the targeting, AEM is the first step, right? Or we can skip
Yes,
this
correct.
and move to
Even we
the
can skip and directly start learning analytics and target. But if you have AEM knowledge, that will be an add-on.
Okay, so these all are separate totally, right?
Correct. They are different products from Adobe.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, I have one more
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, please.
So let's say I'm working as a Magento developer. You know, right? Magento is also Adobe tool. So
Yeah,
I
Adobe
have
Commerce.
currently,
Yeah.
yes, correct. So I have 3 years of experience in this. So what I thought, like if I take training on AEM, like let's say a 6 week, or after that I work myself after like 3 months. After that, if I take certification, then it will be easy to switch, right?
So there is a huge demand for AEM plus Adobe Commerce, means Magento. So that will be a very good add-on to start learning AEM if you already have knowledge in Magento and Adobe Commerce.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we see
Yeah,
any
I'm
live
interested.
example of the application built in AEM? Because I didn't
Yeah.
find any product which is running on AEM, or we are not able to identify whether it is running in the AEM apart from the Adobe's official documentation.
think
The majority of the product-based companies are using AEM to build their website. For example, Apple.com is the website implemented with AEM, and Nike.com, Samsung.com. Top product-based companies are using AEM for the to maintain their websites. Even top airlines and top universities like Stanford universities and top finance and banking and non-banking companies are also using AEM to implement their websites. Yeah, we will find out all the required sessions here, but we'll get an access when the payment is completed, and one of my team members will reach out if you are interested. Sudhakar will reach out. So let me give you a brief introduction about the CMS. It will be useful for the beginners. The full form of the CMS is Content Management System. Content Management System. It will be useful to build the websites. It will be useful to build the website. I'll give a small example where exactly the CMS is required. So for example, let's take my website, baska.com. Baska.com. So this is one static website deployed into AWS S3 servers. This is completely static website. We have pre-implemented some HTML files, CSS files, and JavaScript, and deployed directly into S3 bucket and routed to one domain, baska.com domain. The drawback with this implementation, whenever it required to make the changes in the content, so we have to download the latest S3 HTML files. From the S3, we have to download the latest HTML files, make the required changes in the local by updating some content or design changes. It may be code changes or content changes. We have to do it in the local. And again, I have to upload into AWS S3 bucket. See, this is the company website. In very rare cases, we make the changes in the website. In this case, this is fine. So whenever it required, we'll make the required changes in the local and upload into S3 bucket and clear the cache. The changes will reflect into the live site. Let's assume I have to make the changes every day. So this is not the right solution, because whenever you want to add a new article or whenever you want to update the existing content, you have to download the HTML files and make the required changes and upload and clear the cache. I'll give one more example. For example, the Hindu.com. Hindu.com is a news website. On average, they will write 100 articles. On average, they will write 100 articles per day. Each article is one web page. And this web page contains HTML implementation, CSS implementation, JavaScript implementation, and it requires some images and some documents. Document links are optional, and videos are required to create these web pages. Every article is a web page. Let's say if you don't use a CMS product to implement the Hindu.com, manually we have to create these articles, means web pages, in our local system and then upload into the remote servers. So this will be the regular activity. In this activity, there is a lot of drawbacks. In this approach, there is a lot of drawbacks. The first drawback is to write these articles, means to web pages, we need the design team. And UI and UX team is required. Because every article is a web page. Web page means it requires HTML, CSS, JavaScript implementation. So here the developers are required to implement these web pages. So UI and UX team is mandatory. Let's assume one UI developer is taking 4 hours of time to implement one web page, means one article. 4 hours for each article. So that means to implement 100 articles, 400 hours are required. So, but one UI developers can spend 8 hours per day. 400 hours means at least 50 members are required. 50 UI and UX developers are required. But to this website, 50 UI and UX means that will be huge count. Even budget also, it will be very huge. So they can't maintain 50 UI and UX developer to maintain this news website. In this case, CMS are required. Content management systems are required. The advantage with this content management system, we can create these web pages without writing any HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. In the initial development, of course, it required HTML, CSS, JavaScript implementation. Once the implementation is completed, so without writing any code, we can create the web pages. So there are some tools or consoles are available. Log in into the consoles and create the web pages without writing any code. And moreover, we don't need to create these web pages in the local, directly in the remote servers. Directly in the remote server, we can create the web pages without writing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So that is an advantage of the CMS product. CMS full form is content management system. It will be useful to create and manage the content without writing the code. Create and manage the content. manage the content without writing the code. We'll write the code at the time of the development. When the development is completed, without writing any code, we can create web pages. That is an advantage of the CMS. So here 50 UI and UX developers are required, right, to implement 100 web pages without CMS. So this is an example of a without CMS. Without CMS, at least 50 UI and UX developers are required. And here one more disadvantage with this approach: time. Let's say there is a breaking news. I have to publish that breaking news article immediately. So if the UI and UX developers are taking 4 hours of time to implement one web page, after 4 hours, it won't become a breaking news. It will be old news only. So here the time also important. Time also important. So here 4 hours is very huge amount of time in order to display the breaking news to the home page or any article page. And one more drawback, so we have to implement all features from the scratch. So for example, such feature is required for every website, and it may be required login, and it may require permissions, or it may require social media integration. Social media integration. All these features are required for majority of the websites. So if you don't use the CMS product, we have to implement this feature from the scratch. These logins and user management and group management and permission management, social media integration, such feature, there is a huge number of features are available. All the features we have to implement the scratch. So this is one more time consuming process. We have to spend a lot of money to the developers, and we have to spend a lot of time to implement these features. So these are some of the drawbacks without CMS. But if we use CMS product, we can create all these 100 articles by using 2 or 3 resources. So here 50 resources are required without CMS. But with 2 or 3 resources, we can manage all these 100 articles. Because CMS provides a flexibility to create a web page without writing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Without writing HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you can create the web pages with the CMS. So that's why 2 or 3 resources are enough to create 100 articles. To create 100 articles, 2 or 3 resources are enough. And time. So we can create within 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes also. We can create the web page and add the required content, and even we can activate that content also. Even we can activate that content within 5 minutes. If there is any urgent content to be published, directly log into the remote server, create a web page by using the CMS, and activate that content. So check this time difference. So here it required 4 hours only for implementation, but here 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, we can create a web page and publish that web page directly into the live environment. So here the deployment is required because these web pages will create in the local, and deployment is required. Deployment is required in this process, but here deployment also not required. Deployment is not required because directly we are creating the pages into the server. Directly we are creating pages into the server, so here required deployment also not required. And this CMS provide the default features. This CMS will provide the default features, such features and login features and permissions and user management and group management and social media integration. There is multiple features are available. By default, these features would be available in the CMS. We can directly utilize these features in order to use in your website. So we don't need to implement from the scratch. Directly we can use this feature which is provided by the CMS platforms, content management system platforms. So these are the few of the advantages to compare the CMS, to compare the non-CMS application with the CMS. Any questions here?
Are these all a paid feature or a free feature?
So once you buy the license of the CMS, all features are the free features only. But that depends on the CMS platform you have to buy. For example, WordPress. WordPress is open source. You don't need to buy the license. I think there is multiple plans in WordPress also, but you can get free of cost. But some of the CMS platforms are the paid platform, and some of them are free platforms also available.
For the training purpose, how we will be able to simulate it in our
We'll
local
provide the executable jar file. We don't need to buy the license. So for the AEM practice purpose, there will be one executable jar file. Directly you can install in your local, and we can use that executable jar file for the local practice purpose.
Okay. And
Okay,
how
so these
how the
yeah.
SEO is maintained in this CMS application, SEO,
So
search engine optimization, because all these are
search
content.
engine optimization, by default, AEM provides some of the fields. That means we will configure the content and it will be rendered on web pages. If you need additional properties, it required customization at page property level, and will provide the flexibility to the content author to configure the content. So it will prepare all required metadata and render that metadata into the web pages.
Okay.
Okay, so these are some of the features of AEM: social media integration to integrate your website with the social media platform, and permission control means user management, group management, and permission management, and versioning and rollback. Let's say if we make the changes in our web page, we can create a backup. So here the backup is nothing but a version, and later if required we can roll back, means revert to that particular version. So this is also one more feature in AEM. We can create a backup with the regular intervals, or we can create it manually also. And search also one more feature. There are two different APIs are AEM support. One is SQL2 and XPath. Either you can use SQL2 or XPath query language to query the content in AEM repository. Multilingual support. By using this AEM, we can easily create multilingual website. For example, apple.com. So they are selling the product in different countries. So some of the countries are English countries, some of the English or non-English countries. So for example, China, they would like to see the content in Chinese language only. So that's why Apple is maintaining their Apple website in the Chinese language. Japan, Japanese language. French. There is multiple countries, they would like to see the content in their local language. So these multinational companies need to maintain different website and different languages. These languages are related to country specific. But we can easily create multilingual website by using AEM. And workflow and publishing we'll discuss in detail later. So basically it will be useful to create the content and activate that content to the live environment. It's live server. So these are the few of the CMS platforms are available in the market. We might heard about these WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, Sitecore, AEM, Contentful, Amplience, and OpenText and etc. So these are the few of the CMS platforms are available in the market. So that depends on implementation. Let's say if the implementation is small implementation, we can use WordPress because the cost was it's very cheaper to compare with other CMS platforms. WordPress and Joomla, Drupal or PHP-based CMS platforms. Sitecore is a .NET based and AEM is Java-based CMS platform. But why do you prefer AEM as a CMS product? Why can't we use the remaining CMS product for the implementation? What are the advantages of AEM to compare with the remaining CMS? It's a very common question for everyone. Why do you prefer AEM as a CMS product? So there is multiple advantages with AEM to compare with other CMS platforms. The first one is DAM module. DAM is part of the AEM. DAM full form is digital asset management. It will be useful to manage the assets. So here assets is nothing but images, documents, and videos. Assets is nothing but document, videos, and images. So there is a separate module to manage only the asset. And this asset module or DAM module provides the powerful feature to update the metadata or to customize this metadata or to create the versions. So this is one of the advantages to compare with the other CMS platforms. And second advantage is it is easy to integrate with the marketing cloud platforms. AEM is a CMS product. It will be useful to create a website. Once the website is created, we have to market that website to reach the end users. Marketing is very important. Let's say if you have 20 or 25 lakhs of amount, you can launch your own website, e-commerce website. So that is easy. But marketing is very important. That website should reach to the end user. The end user should convert to the customers. So that is, this conversion is very important. For this conversion purpose, there is multiple marketing tools are available in the market. We can easily integrate AEM with those tools. So for example, analytics for user tracking purpose, audience manager for segmentation purpose, campaign for marketing purpose, for email marketing, SMS marketing, notification marketing, it will be useful. Target to serve the personalized content. Similarly, there is huge number of Adobe products are available. We can easily integrate AEM with this product because all are from the same organization. Adobe Experience Manager, Adobe Analytics, Adobe Audience Manager, Adobe Campaign, Adobe Target, Adobe Social, Adobe Primetime, so Adobe Magento, Adobe Marketo, Adobe AEP, AZO, CZO. There is huge number of tools are available, which will be useful for the marketing purpose. We can easily integrate AEM with those marketing platform tools because all are from the same organization, and by default AEM provides some extensions or the plugin to connect with this marketing tools. And by default, AEM provides the security, means user management and group management and permissions also. And Adobe provides some out-of-box components. Out-of-box component, and these components are reusable component for every project. So rather than implementing the component from the scratch, we can use this existing component to build a website. But sometimes we have to customize those components because Adobe provides with the default features only. If that feature is not suitable for your implementation, we have to extend that out-of-box components. And Adobe AEM provides good authoring experience because it will support both touch devices and non-touchable devices to create the content. Let's say if you want to create a web page or modify the content of the existing page, you can log in into the website by using your mobile or tab or any touchable devices. And then we can make the required changes. It supports touchable devices as well as non-touchable devices. So this is one advantages with the AEM. We can easily create the content. We can open the dialog to make the required content changes in AEM server. And it provides the default SEO and user experiences. For the SEO, search engine optimization purpose, we have to generate some keywords and titles and description and canonical URL. By default, all these features are implemented in the core AEM components. We can utilize those components to render the SEO related meta tags into the web pages. And it supports headless CMS. This is one of the popular architecture to implement the projects. Majority of the e-commerce websites are using this headless CMS architecture. Headless CMS architecture we'll discuss in detail at the time of the content fragment. And advanced workflow management. So this is for the content activation or if you want to perform any activity based on some events, also we can use this workflow management. So similarly, there are some other projects, other features also available. Dispatcher caching mechanism, one feature, and MSM multi-site management is one more feature. So these are the unique features of the AEM to compare with the other CMS products. So that's why this is one enterprise CMS platform. A normal or a small companies can't use this CMS for their implementation. Only the enterprise companies only can use this AEM as a CMS product to implement their web applications. Okay, so these are the different modules of AEM. Forms is one module, sites is one module, mobile is one module, asset is one module, community is one module. But in the latest version, these forms and communities and mobile has been removed. Only it supports sites and assets. sites and assets. Only these two modules are enough to build the website. Sites module plays a key role to generate the websites, to generate the web pages, or to update the content. And it required some images. The images and documents and documents and videos we can manage with the assets module. Assets module are also called DAM module, digital asset management module. These two modules are very important. So in this training session, I will cover these two. But if you are interested in the forms, so we'll provide the basic form implementation. But the forms is an extension of AEM. You don't need to have the knowledge on forms because the forms team is completely different. Forms are different and community is different. Don't worry about these two modules. Just focus on sites module and assets module. Okay, so these are the different versions of AEM. The AEM journey was started in 2000. The product name was CQ 1.0. And this product started by Day Software Solution. So that is one product-based company. So they have started in 2000 as an internal product. From 2000 onwards, so every year they have been releasing a new version until 2010. Until 2010, they have been releasing a new different versions. In 2011, Day Software Solution acquired by the Adobe and released the first version. From the 2011 onwards, this CMS product handled by the Adobe. CQ 5.4 in 2011. In 2012, 5.5, and then renamed the product from CQ5 to AEM, Adobe Experience Manager. Adobe Experience Manager. Again, from 2013 onwards, every year Adobe releasing a new version. 2014 6.0, 2015 6.1, 16 6.2, 17 6.3, 18 6.4, and 19 6.5. 19 6.5. So here versions are stopped. In 2019, 6.5 version has been released and version stopped here. And this product has been moved to cloud in 2020 June. In 2020 June, Adobe released Adobe AEM as a cloud services. Now this is a cloud services product. Adobe AEM as a cloud services. 2020 June onwards. But still, majority of the projects are running AEM 6.5 or AEM as a cloud services. But implementations wise and features wise, majority of the pieces will be same. But the only difference between 6.5 and AEM as a cloud services is admin role. Admin role. I will explain one by one. But almost 50 to 40% or 40% of the projects are still running AEM 6.5, and remaining projects are running AEM as a cloud services. But this training will be useful for both AEM 6.5 as well as AEM as a cloud services. So whatever the code we are going to write, it can be executable on 6.5 as well as AEM as a cloud services. But we can't use AEM 6.5 plain version. It required extension. I will provide that extension. AEM 6.5 plus Service Pack 20. Service Pack 20. So this is one add-on to execute the latest code in AEM 6.5 server. But if you are using latest AEM as a cloud services, we can execute the latest code without adding any extensions. So developer point of view, AEM as a cloud services implementation and 6.5 implementation will be the same. Almost 80 to 85% of the implementation is the same. Only 15 to 20% will change. I will cover those changes in the live training. What are the difference between 6.5 and AEM as a cloud services? I will cover both 6.5 features as well as AEM as cloud services features. And there will be other teams as well, QA team, testing team, and AMCA team, content authoring team, and AEM admin team for the server maintenance. Server maintenance purpose, we can use admin team. And sixth one is marketing team. We'll find out all the SEO team, analytics team, and target. That depends on the project. There will be multiple teams available in the market. So your and UX team provide the required HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And as a developer, will utilize this HTML, CSS to implement this component. And create team for testing purpose. For the create team, they required for every project. Quality analyst team or testing team to validate or feature implementation. Testing team is required. AMCA team is content authoring team. So this team will be useful to create the content. So for example, when the site is live, if there is a requirement to create a new page, we don't create it because we are the developers. So we are not the content creators. So there will be a separate team called content authoring. They will create the content. They will create the content by using the features which is implemented by the development team. As a development team, we'll implement the features. And these features are used by the content authoring team to create the content. So basically, this content authoring is a non-technical team. Without having any coding knowledge, they can create the content by using this AEM team. Admin is one more team. So they will take care of the server maintenance, server creations and server maintenance and server health check and server upgradation. And all these activities are done by the admin team. And third one is last one is marketing team. And again, in this team, there will be multiple team, SEO team and analytics team and target team. That depends on the project and multiple teams. But in AIM as a cloud services, admin team is not required. Admin is not required. So that means server maintenance and server creation team is not required. Because in the AIM as a cloud services, this environment creation is automated. So AIM as cloud services is automated. There is one feature cloud manager. In this cloud manager, we can easily create the new server. If you are using AIM 6.5, if there is a requirement to create the new environment, so we have to execute multiple steps. One is Linux server setup and Java installation and author installation and publish server installation and Apache web server installation and dispatcher setup and SSL configuration and domain configuration. So there is multiple activities we have to take care in order to set up one environment. So this is in 6.5. It required at least 2 days of time. At least 2 days of time required to set up a new environment in AMS 6.5. Because we have to set up each and every activity manual. So buy one Linux server and install Java, install author, publish. Again, link author with publish server, Apache web server installation, dispatch installation, SSL installation, domain configurations. All these activities we have to take care of. But in AIM as a cloud services, without having any knowledge in the Linux or Java installation or AIM installation, we can create an environment within 20 minutes. Within 20 minutes, we can create a new environment by using AIM as a cloud services. The AIM as a cloud services, cloud manager is one platform. By using this platform, we can easily create one environment within 20 minutes. Internally, to create all this, to execute all the steps. Server setup, Java installation, author and publish, web server, dispatcher, SSL, domain configuration, everything will be taken care of within 20 minutes. Basically, this is admin activity. As a developer, we don't execute these steps. Even if we are using 6.5, there will be a separate team called AIM admin team. They will set up the environment. Even deployment purpose, Deployment purpose, we have to set up a Jenkins and Git repositories. Git repository. Deployment purpose, these two servers are required, Jenkins servers and Git repository. And these are also automated. These are also automated. By default, Adobe provide Git repository and it provide a CI/CD pipeline creation. Without having any knowledge, we can easily create CI/CD pipeline, CI/CD are the deployment pipelines. We can easily create by using this cloud console. And server maintenance also very easy. So here we have to take care manually health checkup. Health check is manual activity. Server upgrade is one more manual activity. And scaling, auto scaling one more activity. And these activities also automated. In the AIM as a cloud services, in the regular interval, it will check the health of the server. If there is any issue, it will fix automatically. If it is not able to fix it automatically, it will create a new server. And server upgrades also same. If there is a new version from Adobe, automatically upgraded in AIM as a cloud services. But here we have to take care manually. Manually, we have to upgrade the server from one version to other version. And one more feature in AIM as a cloud service is auto scaling. Auto scaling. So due to festival, if the website traffic is increased, we have to increase our servers also. But in the AIM as a cloud services, so this activity is automated. Automatically, it will increase the servers. Let's say due to offers or the festival, the traffic is increased 2 times or 3 times. The existing servers can't handle this 2 or 3 times extra traffic. So we have to increase the servers, increase the number of servers. So this activity also automated in the AIM as a cloud services. So all these activities are admin activities. We can skip this admin team in AIM as a cloud services because all are automated. Without having any knowledge, we can create the environment and we can manage the environment and we can set up the deployment pipelines and we can easily upgrade from one version to other version of AIM as a cloud services. So these are the different advantages of AIM as a cloud services to compare with AIM 6.5. But this entire training, we are going to use AIM as a cloud services SDK. This entire training, we are going to use AIM as a cloud services SDK for the local setup and for the local practice for this. Any questions?
What about database behind all of this?
Database is not required. So when you install AIM server, internally it will create one database called JCR, Java Content Repository. The entire content and code base will be stored into the JCR only.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So this training here, is it compatible to what you say, the certifications? Once we complete this training and the syllabus for this training and the certification is same, or how is it?
Same only. This content is enough for the certification.
Okay, so you guys also support guide for certifications?
Yeah, just go to this PPT so you can easily clear the certification exam. ADO E134 or ADO E123. So this is a basic one, and ADO 134 is the lead, means senior developer.
Okay. So you guys will be helping for certification also, or is it only for you will be covering this what do you say, syllabus, and we have to prepare at our own?
Yeah, we'll cover the syllabus only, but if you need help on certification, like if you are having any questions in the certification, we'll help you and we'll connect 1 or 2 hours to clear your doubts.
Okay, so this there will be a live real-time project or a dummy project we will be working on for in this training.
Yes, News Portal is the dummy project we are going to implement in the trial.
Okay, and if we miss this one, let's say one of the days due to some reason, so we will be
We will
getting
find
this.
a recorded session in the same day in the folder. For example, if you miss day 6 1, so we'll find that after the session, after 1 or 2 hours, we'll upload the latest video, it means recorded session into the same folder.
Okay.
How we can prepare for Java, because like me, some of the people maybe are not from the Java background. So what will be the path forward for us?
So these videos are enough for the AIM implementation. So moreover, these are for the freshers training. So internally we train the freshers at the time we have recorded it. So it will be very easy to understand. Just go through this recorded sessions one by one and complete in first 15 days itself. Because after 15 days we'll start the AIM backend.
So does it require any specific like Java 8 or Java 11? Because
You can use Java 8 or Java 11, but in this training, we are going to use Java 11. But these are the core features of the Java 8. Will be available in Java 8 and Java 11. But set up in your local Java 11.
okay.
Okay, one more question. Like it is only based on core Java, or we are following with like Servlet, JSP and all?
Servlet JSPs are not required. Core Java is open. And that in that core Java also this some of the features like multi-threading and applets and these features are not required. And what are the features we listed here? These knowledge is.
Okay, you mean to say only core Java is enough to start with
Yeah,
AEM, right?
correct. Yeah, core Java is enough.
Will you also like teach on component customization, like you
Yeah,
mentioned about the
that's
component?
that's part of the training. So we'll create the multiple custom components.
Okay. And let's say I have an example, like if I have some components and I need to like I have some out of box component for any other product which I need to customize it on AEM, will you be able to help with that as well?
Yes, I will cover it in one of the concept called core component. The core component will cover how to customize the existing components.
Okay.
If you scroll down, the core components are the one of the feature. Yeah, day 21. So I'll show you how to customize both AIM front end core component customization and the backend customizations.
Okay. One more thing here. Like you mentioned, it's. I just wanted to understand what is the difference between AEM 6.5. You mentioned it is cloud, and the other one is without cloud, right? So,
Yes.
is for the coding purpose, is there anything different, or is it the same one from coding like from writing
Coding
the.
point means development point of 80 to 85% of the implementation would be same. Just 15% of the implementation will be different in 6.5 and cloud services. But I will cover in the diagram what are the difference between 6.5 and cloud implementations.
Will you also give access to the cloud instance?
Not cloud instance, cloud SDK.
Okay.
Even cloud instance is not required for the platform. Even if you have the cloud, you can't write any code in the cloud because in the cloud apps and dips are the immutable folders. So through the deployment only we can deploy the code to the cloud remote servers. So you have to use cloud SDK, AIM cloud SDK.
Is that open source, right?
It's not open source. Not open source. If you have the Adobe account, you can download. If it is 6.5, license is required. If it is AIM is a cloud SDK, and if you have the login access for the Adobe software distribution, you can download. Only the customers will have the software distribution access. It's not open source. The normal members can't download it. Any other questions?
So, is there any integrations we are trying, basic integrations we are included in the syllabus?
Integrations mean I will cover how to use this REST API in the backend to connect with any external services. So that is only one example I'm going to cover. So, but if you are looking for any integration, additional integration, so we'll extend 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours of the session, and I will cover those integrations.
Okay, because in the
So
certification,
this is the standard content. This is the standard content, and based on the participant request, I will extend 2 or 3 hours of training.
okay, because in the certification syllabus, it is mentioned that LDAP integration is there. So just was
LDAP integration is required only for the senior, ADOE 134. LDAP integration or authentication related questions you will get in ADOE 134. If you are writing ADOE 123, so LDAP integrations are not required. This content is enough.
okay. But this syllabus is for only for 123 or 134 also.